let's get right into it. So with the $220,000 profit that we made on Friday on the Clove and the Ford and the Open and the Qs and the Intel, we're going to take some of that money because now we're sitting pretty forever, right? So we did so well on Friday that now you got the legal right to gamble, and you have the right now to do dumber shit. And what's the dumbest shit you could possibly do? Buying options into the earnings report. See, what we did on Friday is we bought options after the earnings reports. Intel gapped up, we bought puts, stock went down. That's the trade that works every time. Buying options before the earnings report is a losing trade, but we're going to do it anyway because we're sitting here with little house money from what we did on Friday. So now you have the legal right to gamble, plus you still own the Qs. You came in long, you're up 8 points on that. Take some of that money. We're long the Qs from the pivot point on Wednesday, so we're up 30 points on the Qs just from that one pivot. Remember, 600s. You got paid on the Ford. You got paid on the Clove. You got paid on the VWAP. You got paid on the SRAD. You got paid on the Clove. You got paid on the Ford. You got paid on the Intel. You got paid on the SRAD. You're obviously still long the Qs. We topped out all of our swing trades on the rare earths about 3 weeks ago, and we got short. We're legitimately kicking the shit out of everything in sight. So you got the legal right to do the dumbest shit you could possibly think of. And what is that? Buying a $10 option going into an earnings report. Because let me explain one more time. I love Rampus. Some of us are long from 40 bucks. The stock's only 10 points away from all-time highs. All right? And they're reporting tonight in a bull market. You have to assume this stock's going up 20% tonight. Why am I assuming that? Because we're in a bull market and we never go down. And this stock is at 20-year highs. What do you think is going to happen next? Exactly. All-time highs. And if you haven't noticed, in 2025, when a stock consolidates and then breaks all-time highs, it doubles. So we're going to assume that this stock in the next, however, maybe a week in this market, maybe it'll take 3 whole weeks, maybe 3 months. But all we care about tonight is if it goes up 12 or 15 points. Inevitably, I think this stock going past 127, and then we're going to go to $400 a share. Not a joke. Not a joke. Stop right there. Not a joke. Is it going to go to 400 tonight? Probably not. Can it? Sure can. Certainly could, right? Because we're in a market that never goes down, ever, right? And every time we do pull back for an hour, we're met with a 30-fold move to the upside, which is what we're in right now. If you guys remember the Qs a couple of days ago when I said, hey, we could actually short the Qs. Remember that? And they went down to all those key levels. And I said, all right, we've got new generational lows. Let's start buying the Qs because now they're going to rally 10%. And some of you laughed, oh, we're not going to go up 60 points. Sure, right. So now we're up basically 30. All we got is 30 more points to go on the Qs for that scenario to happen. We're still in the generational lows from the May 12th power gap. Every pullback creates new generational lows. So now, why not factor that in from last Wednesday, way back on Wednesday when we had that sell-off that lasted for how long? About an hour, because that's all you're going to get. So now an hour is now met with 30x, 30 times. We got to go now 30 straight hours up. That's been the scenario. Every pullback that creates generational lows, we then go up 30 hours. Then we consolidate, and then we pause, giving the market participants another chance to say, maybe that's the top. This market can't keep going up every day. And it pauses, they get short, and then it rips your head off and then gaps and goes the next day. Hence the reason the market can't go down. And let me explain one more time if you're out there paying attention. The reason the market can't go down is that every time it goes up and it gaps like it did today, it trapped more shorters still who are short from here. The ones that thought, this is the big one. It's never the big one, and it never will be the big one. So they get short here. Some of the smart shorters say, oh, okay, there's the faux show, bro. We better get out of our shorts here and let's get back on the winning side. Other shorters just sit here and just wait to get annihilated until they say, wow, I have to cover now or I'm going to be broke. That's the power gap. So now that they power gap the Qs again, all the shorters are thinking is, oh my God, please pull back so I can cover. And the longs who are still debating whether or not generational lows have been in for the last 8 months, they're, oh, we got to get back in. We got to chase this market. So it cannot go down. You see, it's the same conversation we had last year, the same conversation we had the year before. And then you had COVID. And I said, all right, well, the market crashed. Generational lows are in. And we rallied. 2021, we had the Kathy Wood top to the Josh Brown bottom. The rally was in. We rallied every day. I understand that the market can pull back and go down every once in a while. But once it turns, we rally usually 10x. And in this this new bull market that we're in, which just began on Wednesday, you got to think we're going up at least 10 more percent. So that's 660 minimum on the Qs. Does any of that matter to anybody listening to me? No. But what's my point? Don't short the Qs. Apple's about to go to 500. AMD's about to go to 500. Amazon's about to go to 500. Netflix is about to go to 1,000. Meta's going to 1,400. Microsoft's going to 1,000. NVIDIA's probably going to 1,000. Palantir's easily going to 500. Carvana's going to 2,000. Reddit's going to 250. And Google's going to 1,000. Why would you want to short the market? So the next time we get a pullback that lasts more than a half an hour, remember this conversation. It's never going to last. It's never the big one. And every pullback is a generational low. Until that stops happening, you have to factor that in. So let's go back to Rambus and the dumbest idea I could possibly think of. Why is it the dumbest idea? Let me explain one more time. And I'll explain why we're doing it anyway. This is Rambus. I've been talking about the stock for over 12 years now. Nobody even knows this thing exists anymore, except for me, apparently. It came out of what we call the Andy Dufresne, right? So here is I'll just throw it on a weekly so you can see it better. The stock sucked for a decade. One of the biggest Andy Dufresnes I've ever seen, except for AMD. AMD, what happened to AMD when they came out of the Andy Dufresne? Stock went from $5 to where it is now, $250. So what I think Rambus is going to do now, because it's trying to make up for lost time and it's powering the quantum generation, and it's going to get taken over by Micron Technology in a merger with Qualcomm, right? There's nowhere for this stock to go but 100% from here. See, that's the part that gets lost in translation. The stock's already up close to 300%. Normal people would say, all right, this thing's run too far. Whatever they say at their earnings report's probably baked in. Right. That's a normal person talking. Normal people don't make money in bull markets. You got to be fucking psychotic. Woo! Woo! Right? You got to be psychotic. Get crazy. You got to think every stock until it stops happening, right? Remember the open, right? Here's the open. You laughed, we joked, and we said, oh, the stock's got to go to at least $10. And then it went to $10, right? We laughed. We cried. We said, hey, oh, Beyond's ripping. I guess it's got to go to at least 5 because it has to go 10x from the lows. And it went to 8. So when I look at Rambus and I look at the recent lows, right? Let's go back 9 months, $40. So now in 2025, apparently the trend, and it's not me just saying this, this has been the trend. Stocks that break all-time highs in 2025 double. And then they go 10x from the recent lows. So I have to factor in that the idea that this stock is going to 400. But all I want is 10 extra. All I want is 12 points tomorrow. And then we'll take it from there. We'll see what goes on. But if the stock is this close to all-time highs, how can it possibly not break? So if it breaks, which I believe it will on this report, see, rational thought says, no way you go into this number, even though you got a faux show, bro, VWAP break going. Faux show, bro, on the longer chart, right? You see it? Fake them out, shake them out from 94 bucks back to 120. See, rational thought doesn't work. Rational thought says, no way am I paying 10 bucks for an option going into a report. Rational thought says, nah, this stock's definitely going to pull back 15% no matter what they say. That's rationally speaking. But nobody makes money in a bull market thinking rational. You have to be irrational, if not psychotically irrational, exuberant. So you got to think this stock's going to at least 250 by Friday. That's what you got to be thinking. So if it's going to 250 by Friday, it should be easy to get to about 127, 135. That's what I'm thinking. So let's talk about the dumbest trade you could possibly put on. Here it is. Look how expensive and illiquid these options are. Not only is it the worst trade you could do, and again, let me explain why buying options into an earnings report is by far the worst trade you could ever do. And we're still going to do it. The reason it's the worst trade is that look at the premiums, right? So the stock's at 113, the premium for the 120. Well, we bought the 115 so far for 850, right? Think about what you're doing here. You're paying 10 bucks. So your cost average is 125 on this option. If earnings weren't coming out tonight, these would be probably $4, maybe even $3. So you're paying 300% more than you should be paying, and you're guessing what the stock's going to do. It's a losing trade. But wait a second. We're in a bull market where nothing goes down. Buy it. See? That's called psychotic exuberance. I could give you a 300-page synopsis in a thesis about why it's a dumb trade. Do it anyway. Because the market never goes down. Right? So as I've been trying to convince you with the Qs over the last 12 and a half to 15 or 17 years, or just if you met me last week, we're never going down, right? So if you want to debate about it, okay, what happened today? We tried to go down, faux show, bro. We tried to go down, faux show, bro. We tried to go down, we held VWAP. Do I win the debate or do I win? You lose again, right? 5 days ago when the actual market sold off, we shorted it. And we had all those wonderful levels to the downside. And what did I say? I can't believe this is working. Let's stay short. Oh, my God. And then a faux show, bro. Short was over. And now not only is it over for the day, it's over for the year. It's over for your life. Because every sell-off is met with a tenfold move to the opposite side. And now your new generational lows are $599.74. And look at, you've tacked on 27 points since. So you want to short a $600 stock that only pulls back maybe 50 cents 2 times a week, but you want to short the market? So let me give you one more tidbit of advice. Don't. Because even if you're right and the market crashes, so what? It's only going to last for an hour, a day, 2, 3 at tops. Buy it. Keep buying. Don't ever stop. Don't ever sell. And that's the Qs. Everything else is different. The Qs are built to only go up. The UVXY is built to only go down. We got that, right? Standard procedure. And then there's everything in between. Your pump and dumps, your worthless biotech stocks, your rare earths, your quantum, all that other nonsense, right? Everything else is a distant second. The Qs reign supreme. The Qs are the king. and they'll never be killed, right? They came for the king a couple of weeks ago. King still lives, right? They'll never kill the king. Stocks will pull back. Stocks will pull back. Stocks will crash, can correct, not the Qs. Try to explain it. I have no explanation. They just don't go down. By the way, if anybody could explain to me why we're cutting interest rates, maybe you could also explain to me how the market never goes down anymore. I don't get it. I don't understand why it never goes down anymore, but that's the way it is, right? And just like macroeconomics, I have zero understanding of what's going on. Why would we be lowering interest rates while everything is booming? They should be raising interest rates right now, raising them to over 5.5% to 7.5% to possibly 11.5%. 12.5% would be even better. And the whole premise of them lowering interest rates so people could start to afford housing, nope. That's the Treasury, and Treasury's been going up while they've been cutting interest rates. So that's, again, all they're doing is taking money out of lesser unfortunate people who don't own the Qs. You don't own the Qs, you don't care about the stock market. People need to make money. How do they make money? Cash. They should be raising interest rates. So again, I don't understand how the market never goes down. I don't understand anything, but I do understand that I've learned my lesson the hard way about shorting. It doesn't work anymore. And you have to be completely irrationally, beyond irrational, psychotically exuberant to really, truly embrace what we're witnessing right here. You have to start thinking that the market's about to double from here. And I've been saying that now for the last 6 months, right? And I remember I started doing a stock twits thing. And one day I was like, we're in the market where you could probably just bang your head on the keyboard, buy something, and you're going to make money. And one guy said, oh, this must be the top. And Howard Linzon said, all right, Kenny's getting a little irrational here. Definitely the top of the market. What have we done since that video? I think it was around July 11th on the Qs, right? I was just looking at some of my older videos. July 11th, around that time, irrationally exuberant, right? July 11th, and the Qs were at 557. Yeah. So back to the theme, right? We've got a trade that works every time. That was KDP. And I'm as surprised as anybody. An actual short that worked. And you know why it worked? Because this trade hasn't failed in 4 years. Gapped up stocks on earnings will usually find somebody that wants to take profit. Again, I don't understand why that's not happening with the overall market. You'd think some people that, again, I'm using my father as an example. He's the example of why the market won't go down, because he still thinks we're going a lot higher. That's why he's not selling, even at 80, fully invested in growth. Generally, baby boomers or people over 65, they start unwinding that trade and they start going more conservative. My dad's like, why? We're ripping and we're going higher. I'm going to stick with what's working. Big cap tech. Let's go. QQQ. When that mass exodus comes, I don't know when it's going to happen, but you know what we'll do? We'll probably break generational lows that day, and then maybe we'll be able to short the Qs and, have more than an hour's worth of selling, because that's been it. You get an hour and, usually only get 7 minutes. Sometimes we got an hour last week, and it was great. But let's go recap what we did on Friday. Now, again, I can't show you the options, but I can show you the options. So let me show you the options. So when I say you haven't missed shit, a lot of people are going, man, I missed out on this bull market. You haven't missed shit. Market goes up every day. And you don't need 100% move on a stock like a G-sit going from 5 to 12, or some other penny stock bullshit name wannabe loser stock going from $8 to 50. That's not how you get paid. You get paid on Clove. Yeah, this stock. This stock is how you get paid. Because you came in, you said, hey, this thing's finally breaking over that yearly VWAP. That's a good thing. And if it breaks the yearly VWAP, it's going to go to 350. And if it breaks 350, chances are it's going to go to 389 because it was factored in. It's programmed. So what we do, we said, hey, I could buy a 350 call for 2 cents with the potential of it going to 50 cents. I'm in. Right? You're not buying 10 options. That's $20. You're buying 100 minimum. It's $200. Most trades we're putting on, you're risking $250 or $300 anyway. So you're starting, right? You're starting with 100. Some guys, hopefully, we're doing thousands. If you're in here, raise your hand. But it's a 50-cent move on a half-point option on a Friday is how you get paid the 10x, 20x trades. You don't need the G-sit going up 30%. You need a 50-cent stock or a $2 stock going up 50 cents on a Friday. So let me show you. So this option was the 350 call on Clove on Friday. And what's that? That's a faux show. What price was it? 2 cents. So some of us bought them at 2. Some people bought them at 3. Some people bought them at 4. You ain't buying 10. You piker. You're starting with 100, maybe 1,000. And the option went to 42 cents. I'm not going to talk about what I was doing. 3 to 33. There, I just said it. That was only 1,100%. I was in from 3, sold them at 33. Fantastic, right? I'm not going to say another word about it. This was just one trade. 2,000%, right? And then you had Ford. Who the hell even trades Ford? We do, because you got a faux show, bro, VWAP break on a Friday with options, right? So you're buying the 13s, right? Or you went lotto and you said, hey, you know what? If this thing gets to 13, maybe 1350 is in the cards. 1350 gets you 14. All you need is a 50-cent move, right? Look at this. How you doing? Look familiar? Faux show, bro. Where you buying the options? 3 cents, 4 cents, maybe 5. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? 50 cents. It's 1,000%. Wait, there's more. Remember Intel, the only stock that was shortable on Friday, and it's still shortable today because people are taking their profits on the gap. So remember that trade that I have that never fails? Well, Intel was that trade. So you came in on Friday, and you said, hey, Intel's gapped up. Can we actually short the stock? And the first thing I said was no, because the market doesn't go down anymore. And then we said, all right, let's wait to see if Intel rationally gives us permission to short it. And then it broke VWAP. We had the anomaly print that we thought that it could go to. It rolls over, breaks down. And again, if you were short from the pre-market, which we were, some of us, it was just the stock. But if you look at the trade options, it was the rollover $40 put, right? Watch this. Faux show, bro, on the put. You're buying options here at 50 cents. They went to $2. Sorry, only a 400% return on that one. By the way, Q's new highs. Q's new highs. Market never goes down. Thank you. You're not shorting it, right? So Monday is called a gap and go. In a bull market, basically most of the money's made on Fridays and Mondays because we generally gap and go on Fridays, and then we gap and go on Mondays. And that's what we're doing right now. That's why there's not much to do in a bull market. You just hold, gap, go. There is no selling. Nobody sells anything anymore. There's no profit taking. There's no selling. We just go up every minute, every day. So tomorrow, listen, I'm going to go out on a limb. Well, first of all, I hope Rambus goes up 120 points tomorrow. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say the Qs are going to pull back 2 points tomorrow. A whole fucking 2 points. Wow, incredible, right? And people are going to be like, oh, that must have been the top of the market. It won't be. And tomorrow, if the market actually does go down a couple of points on the Qs, those will be new generational lows to lift off from on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday into an inevitable gap and go on Monday, which probably gets us to around 660 on our way to 700, possibly 1,000 by the end of the year. Now, did you just giggle? We ain't going to 1,000 by the end. Why? Why? Has anybody been trading since 94 in here? I have. I've seen the market rip 100% in 9 months. Why can't it happen again? We're in the middle of it. You don't think we could end at 1,000 by the end of the year? Why? It's all fake anyway. You know, none of this is real. Nobody gives it. The market doesn't reflect anything based in reality anymore. But there is one reality. We just began a new bull market. And we never go down. Q's new highs. Hey, if you were looking for a reason to buy something today, there you go. Beyond Meat. Right? Come on. They said they're going out of business officially now. So the stock had to go, and you already had the 10x move. But now they reiterated that they're going out of business. So the stock should probably rip again any day now. And again, 2025, the year of the worthless stock. So you guys want to still debate with me. You've lost. You've lost the debate. You've lost any argument you could have. Q's new highs. Up 28 points from Wednesday. You're going to debate? You lose. You've lost the debate. And if you still think the market's going to go down, ask yourself why. Why would it? If you say valuation, if your answer is it's gone up too much, too fast, there is zero reason for the market to go down. So just write this sentence and put it on a post-it note. When it goes down, then you could short it. Don't try to short while it's going higher. If the market ever goes down and breaks generational lows, then you short it. And right now, the new generational low is today's lows. So there's a good chance we'll break them. Let me know when that happens. So your new generational low is sitting right here. That one pullback this morning for 80 cents, that's your new generational low. So tomorrow, if it breaks this price, maybe we go down another $1. And then what? We rally 40 after that. So my point is there is no point. Shorting should be taken off your repertoire of trading unless it's a specific earnings gap that breaks VWAP. And if it actually does a prior day VWAP rollover. Those are your only choices. Other than that, everything's a long trade. Every dip's a buy on every stock. So let's go back to this Rambus trade, right? So when I say this stock's easily going to 250 and you laugh, why? Why would you laugh? The stock just faux show broed, faux show broed, faux show broed, faux show broed, faux show broed. And it's about to break all-time highs. And what do stocks do in 2025 when they break all-time highs? That's right. Say it. They double from there. So put away your rational thoughts. Put away any, mathematical formulas that you have in your head. Embrace the psychotic nature of this bull market that we're in right now, because this is by far, there has never been anything like this before. And I've seen it all. So until it stops happening, I have to assume we're breaking 127 on Rambus tonight, and we're about to rally to 260. Maybe tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? I'm actually saying that. Do you understand what I'm saying? This stock could be 250 bucks by Friday. Now you're thinking, right there. And on that note, I'm done. I'll see you guys. I just got a little blip. I don't know if I'm still on the air or whatever, but that's my sign. You see, as I'm trying to explain this trade, the internet just went out. It's happening. And now here's the fun part. After it hits 250, that's when it starts to really go up. So my target on the stock legitimately is 625 by April. I'll have to give it a couple of months to get there. 625 for April. So as much as these options do cost and they're very, very high price and you're gambling into the number, I wouldn't be selling the stock. That's for sure. Q's new highs. Hey, speaking of trades that are working out, V-Wave, they got attacked on, it was an algorithmic sell program that hit the stock. You see how it's come back most of the way? That's a good stock. If you own a stock in this market that actually goes down 3 days in a row, your stock's a dick. Sell it. Right? So this stock, man, what was that? From 52-week highs, they bled this thing to death, and it's made most of it back. That's a good stock. If you see them getting sold off and the next day they get sold off again, your stock's broken. Especially in this market, nothing goes down 3 days in a row. Nothing even hardly goes down 2 days in a row. You got a stock that's trending down 2 or 3 days in a row, sell it. Because you got the worst stock on the planet. It doesn't deserve your money. But if you're in the V wave, anywhere from 50 cents to 75, the options are back to $1.50. Again, we got till March. I've sold some, but I'm not selling anymore. And I was just talking about the rare earths. We dumped them. We went short. We had a really good time with them. Now that they've crashed, a lot of them 50%, the buy on dippers must think, oh, it's got to be a buy. Nah. Wait till they turn. Don't buy them on the way down. And just like the quantum stocks, when those turn again and start to collapse, 75% of those stocks are going to zero, just like these rare earths. But the ones that do turn and stabilize, those are the legit ones. And then we'll whittle down the list of the ones that we could keep, take serious going, over the next 2 or 3 years. It'll be a proving ground in the next couple of weeks to see which ones are legit. Rare earths, quantum, nuclear, all that stuff. But you see how most of these conversations, if you haven't heard me, let me explain one more time. I have a trade that works every single time it shows up, regardless of whether the market's going up or down. 4 years now, every trade that's shown up that's performed this setup has provided a winning trade. So whether or not you think the Qs are ever going down or up, or we're about to go into another 3.5-year bull market from here, or if Rambus goes to 127 or 0 tonight, if you just stick to the trade that works every time, you probably should come out ahead. And that trade today was KDP. As a matter of fact, it could be a short again, but kind of done. Gapped up stocks that hold trend the whole morning. See how it broke VWAP, held it, rallied, pulls back, held it, rallies, pulls back, rally, hold it. Nobody's selling. What do we wait for? The sellers. So the first move, I wasn't shorting because I don't like shorting near the open, because they usually do that move where they squeeze the shorter, and then look where it went. 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. You think 30 was an algorithmic resistance programmed into the stock? Of course it was. So then it rolled over. Then you short it and use the 30, 30, 30, 30, and that one little candle right there as your out in case it did break 30. But once again, the trade has not failed us in over 4 years. VWAP break, earnings report, gapped up that hasn't broke VWAP yet, roll over. Normally we get to the orange line. We got very damn close where we covered, and then it rallied back and we covered the rest. And now when I just said it kind of set up for another short, is because you see it. Little finger of God right there, roll over, break VWAP, not in it, don't care about the stock any longer. And just let me point out, you know, the cues one more time. You see what they're doing right now? This is called a gap and go. And all we're going to do now is we're going to go up all day, right through the lunchtime hour, into the 2 o'clock fucking, nobody cares, into 3 o'clock, and then we close. So if you're delusional, like, oh, we're going to get a pull. Nope, we're not pulling back. Oh, can't we get even a VWAP? Nope, not even a VWAP retrace. It's Monday. It's a Monday gap and go, never going down. Stop doing trades that don't work, like shorting the cues. Why would you waste your time shorting something where the most you're going to get is maybe $1 on a $600 stock? There couldn't have been a dumber trade. You got to be factoring in 627.50 today, gap to 630 tomorrow, 650 by Friday. Ignore it. Doesn't matter. You want to make money? Pump and dump worthless pieces of shit stock. There is where you want to go. G-sit with a little faux show, bro. Ass crack, 1 minute multi-day VWAP breakout. That's how you make money in 2025. Long the cues. Don't even look at them. And then everything else, just keep faux show broing. Every stock's a faux show bro away from ripping the shorts' heads off. So let me talk about Friday one more time, and then I'm going to go. We had 5 20-baggers. So that's 10,000% return. Let that sink in. It's a real number. We had 5 stocks that each had a 2,000% return on options. And that's just in one day. So if you were with us on Friday, or if you were at the schmooze, even better, because I gave you the ideas Thursday night, and then you came in on Friday and hopefully put them to use. 5 baggers, 5 20-baggers, which is 10,000% return. It's 100x. Not too sure if anybody's had a 100x day, but when you have a 100x day, now we can legitimately do whatever the hell we want for the rest of our lives. Every trade now is free. That's why. Normally, I wouldn't be buying $9 options on Rambus, but now I can because I got paid on Friday. Normally, I wouldn't be doing any of these trades, right? But after Friday, we could do whatever the hell we want. Oh, and also we came in long the Qs because that was the guarantee I gave. And I actually even used the word, even though you're not allowed to guarantee trades. But I said I'd almost guarantee. See, I threw the word almost in there. I'd almost guarantee that the Qs will be minimum at three. It was 622.50 was the call. If 622.50, then 625. If 625, then 627.50, which we're only $1 away. That's why I've been telling you, don't get in the way of the Qs. What's a generational low? A generational low is a point that a stock hits on a pullback that is now the low point for a generation. Like your kids may never see it that low ever again. It's a jump off point. So if you believe something hit a generational low, like I did on May 12th with the Qs, generational lows were in. So you could buy the Qs. And again, right now, the generational low, the last price was 603.03. So the way I look at it is if you're an investor, now, even if you're buying the Qs here at 626, you're risking 23 points to possibly make 3,000 because there is no top to the market. So if you can establish a generational low as a swing trader or an investor, you say, all right, I could buy here. If the generational low gets broken, I'll sell it. If not, I'm in. And I believe generational lows have been being put in every pullback that we've had this year, and I'm sticking to it. So this last pullback on Wednesday, new generational lows around 599, and then we pulled back to 603.03 again and held. So 603.03, new generational lows. And, not to have this ridiculous conversation again, but I will. Let me know what's going to derail the market, right? Why? So when you're thinking, oh, we can't keep going up, why? Why can't we? Right? The question you should be asking is, why would we go down? Right? Think of all the things we've thrown at the market. Fake tariffs, non-tariffs, tariffs, no tariffs. We've gone through that. Nobody cares about tariffs anymore. The last tariff moment was 3 weeks ago when I don't know why the market reacted to the tariff, no tariff China thing when that's so old and baked in. And now you see, nobody cared. It was fake, the move, right? Nobody cares about terrorism, right? Nobody cares about world war, which is what I thought was going to derail the bull market this year when Israel and Iran were literally shooting rockets back and forth each other. And I thought that was going to escalate. I thought, hey, this might get pretty awful. We're choosing sides right now. This is how world wars begin. And not only did we not go down that weekend, we gapped up on that Monday, and I was like, well, shit. I guess there's nothing left. But there is one thing, barring nuclear Armageddon, Rodan. I know it's far. Again, I know you might be far-fetched, but Rodan. Rodan is a large pterodactyl beast from Monster Island that's hiding out in the volcanoes in Hawaii. If Rodan springs to life and Godzilla's not around to save us this time, which I don't think Godzilla's around anymore, but an imminent Rodan attack, I'm thinking the Qs could pull back like 4 or 5 points. But then we'll have a Rodan, festival, and everybody will be gathering about, you don't understand Rodan, he's not such a bad guy. And the market will start going back up. So unless you're worried about nuclear holocaust or Rodan, then don't be worried about the market pulling back. And that's really it. I mean, that's it. There really isn't much to talk about anymore. That's why I don't understand how this industry even exists. You know, for instance, if I went on to CNBC, hey, we have Kenny Glick with blah, hit the bid capital today, coming on the, oh, let's talk about what's going on. Hi, the market never goes down. See ya. What stocks do you like? Yes. What's yes? Y-E-S? No, yes. What stocks do you like? Yes. What do you mean, Kenny? I like every stock. And then they have me back on 3 months later. Hey, how'd I do? Oh, yeah, we're up. See? Genius. What do you like now, Kenny? Yes. What do you mean? Just buy the cues. Well, don't you think that we've rallied too far? No. Buy the cues. It's 3 months later, they have me on the show. Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Hey, the market's gone up for 3 straight months. Genius. And you know what? 3 months from now, I'll be right again. And then 3 months from now, I'll be right again. What's it matter, right? That's just one trade. Don't short stocks ever unless it's a earnings gap. I'm a shorter, I'm a bearer. I think the whole thing's going to go up in flames one day, down at least 70 for 80. I'm that guy. But that guy loses money all the time. So basically, most traders know exactly what they're doing wrong. What's my problem? Shorting the cues. I just looked at every month this year. I've netted a profit most months. Last month in October, or this month, I netted about $5,000 profit. 13,000 of it was losses in the cues short. So what does that mean? I should have made 18 grand, but I should have made more. So not only if I didn't short the cues, I would have made 18 grand last month. But if I just would have held the cues, it's an extra 18 grand. So that's 40 grand. And then think about all the brain power and moments in time that I wasted even looking at my position while I was short the cues, taking me away from the trades that I should have been doing. So you're talking about a 50 grand month. And that's every month for the last 20 years of my life. Don't short the cues. The one time it hits, you give it all back within a day or two. It's the worst trade ever. And it never will be good, ever. You want to short stocks? Pump and dumps when they break VWAP, and earnings reports when they're gapped up. I'm trying to put a number on it. I'm going to go back. I'm actually still have my I think I still actually have my hard copies of my P&L from back in, from my last the last time I made money, real money, shorting the cues, 2001. And it was really awesome. And I lived off that money for like 5 or 6 years, maybe even more. I bought a house, got married, had the sickest wedding, all paid by shorting the cues. But you know what? Even that trade, I was down close to $500,000 at one point, and then thank God the market crashed, and I stayed short the whole time, and it was awesome. When's that going to happen again? Never. And since that day, I was just doing some math. I'm up to at least, and I know this might sound insane, 20 million. Think about just last month, 13 grand out the window, buying puts and shorting the cues, getting chopped up, wasting my time. At least 12 grand out the window. Actually, I have a real number. It was $15,469.05. That's a real number. $15,466.55. And I still netted a profit. Why? Because all the other trades work. So, Kenny, maybe you should stop shorting the cues. Yeah, maybe I should. But I got an addiction problem. So now multiply that by 12, and then multiply that by, so the last time I actually made serious money shorting the cues was 24 years ago. And then I spent 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015 trying to recapture that glory, gave back And that one trade, I lost about 180, close to 200,000 on one day, shorting the Qs. That was a great day. Fun. So why do I tell these stories? Don't short the Qs. Stick with the trade that works every time. Because if I didn't have that trade that works every time, well, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. None of this would be happening. I'd be divorced, living in the streets right now, because that's where I was headed in 2015, wandering the streets like a freaking lunatic with my jean shorts on and my Timberlands and my Grateful Dead t-shirt, smoking freaking pot and going to movies. I'm a loser. But I picked myself up out of that freaking trash heap, and I got back in the game. And now all we do is trade VWAP and reversals, and we stay ahead of the game. We are the game. And nobody will ever fool me again. Well, then again, what am I talking about? I short the Qs almost every day like a freaking idiot. So right now, I did some calculations on May 12th, and I came up with 1,043 on April 20th, 2028 at 1:43 p.m. And right now, I'm feeling pretty good about that prediction, because look where we are since May 12th on the Qs. We might be at 1,200, 1,000 within by Friday at this pace. So why do we even bother having these conversations? Well, first of all, there are still delusional people out there that look at this market and say it's bearish, right? What are you looking at? There are people that still look at this market and say, oh, yeah, the market goes down. When? When does it go down? We had a bear market 3 times this year. It lasted for 3 days. So we had 9 days of real actual selling this whole year. And where did that lead? To all-time highs right now. So does the market actually go down? The answer is no. And because of that, right? Because of that, for a second, again, I'm real happy that I got most of us out of these USARs and the UUUs and a lot of these stocks at the top of the market. And I said the buy on dippers are now going to get their ass kicked because everybody's so conditioned to buy every dip. The buy on dippers just got their ass kicked. Aha. Now you got to be thinking about buying these stocks tomorrow. Not, again, the USAR just held 20. It's a decent little move here. This is squadoosh. Right? But now that they've all been annihilated, the next couple of days, we'll see who's the strong ones and who the weak ones are. And you just buy the strong ones. It really is that easy. So if you're looking to buy dips in the one sector that actually did go down, be smart about it. Most of these stocks are dog shit. They're going to zero. But tomorrow we'll have a better idea of which ones are legit. Still seeing, again, UUU, finally back to where I originally sold it. Bought the stock at 13, sold it at 18, watched it go to 27. Nah, nothing's making the market go down. No, nobody cares about the health of anybody. But more importantly, what are we doing with Rambus, right? So let's talk more about it, because we're going into this number tonight. Like it or not, we're going in long, right? So let's talk about the scenarios of what could possibly happen. Well, first scenario, gaps and goes, which is probably going to be the case. Gaps above 115, goes to 127, never looks back, goes to 150. I hope that's the case, because the less thinking we have to do, the better. But let's imagine for a second it makes us do some work. The numbers come out, the stock sells off. I must say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put some flavor behind it. Hold on a second. And by the way, just if you're not noticing the cues, right? These little tiny pullbacks, you see what they are? They're nothing, right? Don't get in the way. Monday, gap and go, bull market. It's been working since the 80s. Gap and go Mondays. Most bull markets, Mondays. Go do some history. Get your stock traders almanac. Mondays in a bull market, monsters. Because we gap and go. Nobody sells. You think the market will pull back into the close today? No! And who cares if it does? What are you going to? You're risking 1,000 points to try to make $1? Why? Hey, what's up? Let me say this again one more time. You ready? Well, first of all, the market never goes down, right? Do I win the prize? Do I need to convince anybody else that the market's never going down? Right? I've been saying it now every day since 2012. Well, what about COVID? What about it? That was 2 weeks. Did we go down? Oh, what about that Trump day? How'd that work out? You had a 12% move the next day to the upside. So did we go down? No. We're never going down. Never staying down, never going down, never go down. All-time highs every day for the rest of our lives. All to it, right? We know that. You know that, right? The cues. It's all about the cues, the club. So let's talk about something important. Let's talk about Rambus, right? And the dumbest idea I could possibly put you in, right? Well, first of all, if you're in the Rambus already, this is awesome, right? You're in from $40. So this is icing on the cake for you. But let's say you're just discovering this idea today, and shouldn't be anybody's first hearing of Rambus trading. But Rambus, right? Like I said, there's a few things a stock could do. Now, and again, I'm going to reiterate this whole conversation because it's worth repeating. $40 in April. Stock's 120. Rationally thinking, you would think no reason to buy this stock. Are you crazy? Going into the report, it's susceptible to a sell-off because what they're going to say is already priced in. I agree. Terrible idea. Rationally thinking, it's a terrible idea. The stock's already up 300% going into the number. What they're going to say is already factor in. I agree. But it's 2025, where rational thought doesn't work. So you got to go not just irrational exuberance. You go, what's the next phase of irrational exuberance? Psychotic exuberance, where you got to factor in, oh, all right, so I missed a 300% gain. They're going into the numbers. I probably not only should sell the stock because they're reporting, I should not even think about buying this until they report. See, that's normal. See, that's a normal conversation that normal people would have. But in this market, you have to think, oh, it's about to break all-time highs, and I guess it has to go 10x off a recent low. So the stock legitimately is going to 400 by Friday. Now that's what you got to be thinking. Get with the fucking program, people. We're in a market that nothing goes down, and every time a stock breaks all-time highs, it then doubles and triples. Have you not noticed that? Because that's every stock. Every stock that's come out of a downtrend this year that's broke out has doubled and tripled. Look what those quantum stocks did. Look what the rare earths did. Look what the chip stocks have done. Look at the market. Look at Rocket Lab. Look at ASTS. Look at the space rockets, robots, quantum sector. These stocks are up 20-fold. So you're telling me a stock that just recaptured 20-year highs isn't about to go another 100% from here? You probably thought Omar was a stoolie because it was Sosa said. You bought that line. You got to think the stock's minimum going to 250, then 500. Strap on your irrational exuberance hat, whatever the hell that just meant. Strap on your hat. What the hell does that even mean? Put on your psychotic irrational exuberance hat and let's party. Let's party, right? So, how do we party with staying a little rational? Do you want to even stay a little rational? Nah, fuck that shit. Let's go full blown, completely batshit insane, right? So, let me explain why this is the worst trade you could possibly do. And we're doing it anyway. All those factors that I just gave you, there's 900 reasons this stock's going down tonight. But there's one reason why it's probably not, because the market doesn't go down anymore. You see? That's irrational exuberance. There's 9,000 reasons why you don't want to be even long the stock going into the number. But we're not only long, we're buying options into the number. So why is buying options into the number the worst possible trade? Because look at what you're paying. We paid $8.50 for a 115. The stock's out of the money and we're paying $8. Ridiculous. So to offset some of the cost, I sold some 155s. So I'm in a 115, 155 call spread. Another dumb idea. Because chances are, if the stock explodes, it's going to 250 tonight. And I'm capping my gain at 155, not all of it. But now let me bring it on home and let me try to make it make sense to you. By the way, Q's new highs. I have a trade that hasn't failed in 4 years. Not once. Not once. It has nothing to do with the market going up every day, because it transcends all market environments, like Intel on Friday. How you doing? It transcends all market environments. Doesn't matter up or down, bull market, bear market. The trade continues to work. Like the KDP today was the only one we had to choose from, and it worked because we short stocks that break VWAP, that are gapped up on earnings, got paid. Right? So you ready for me to bring it all home? Let's say you are rationally thinking, which is, you don't want to be. But let's say you are still rationally thinking. And again, I hate to admit it, I still, because I'm a bear, so I have to. My default rational thinking. That's why I'm not a billionaire right now. Because if I was truly as psychotic as I needed to be, I'd be up 30 or 40 million right now, not fucking trying to get in the way of a freight train every year. Stop right there. I have a trade that works every time. So here we have a situation on a stock that I think is about to go up 100%. I legitimately think the stock's going to 250 in short order, within 3 to 6 months, maybe tonight. Not joking. If you don't think the stock can double tonight, you haven't been watching this market. Kenny, are you saying this stock 122 points tonight? Sure. Why not? Remember the Oracle trade? And do you ever think Oracle had a 40% day? Why not Rambus 100%? So let me bring it on home. I'm telling you, I love it. I'm telling you, the options are overpriced. I'm telling you, it's a bad trade. So if by some freaking chance in hell, Rambus reports those earnings and the stock is gapped down on the report, and then does a faux show bro VWAP break. You see where I'm going here, kids? Imagine, if you will, you already love the stock. You were planning on buying it going into the report. Let's say you don't. I'm not going crazy into the report. I'm going in with some, just in case. If Rambus, a stock that I think could possibly go up 125 points from here, for some chance, is gap down tomorrow, on earnings, and it does the faux show, bro, VWAP break, the trade that never fails on the stock that we already loved, that is when you call whoever you need to call and borrow some money. I'm going in, and I'm going in huge. So if this stock does what I just described, and again, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably just going to gap to 130 tomorrow. And you'd be like, oh man, I really wish I would have bought some. But if by some chance, I don't even give a shit about the earnings, whether they say they're good or bad. If it's down and it faux show bros and breaks the VWAP, you're not buying 200 shares. You're not buying 1,000. You're borrowing money tomorrow. You're robbing a bank. You're selling your car and some blood. And if they wanted my sperm, I would sell that too to buy more Rambus. That's how passionate I am about this name. We are 12 cents, $12 away from all-time highs. 25-year high break in 2025. Stock's going to 1,000. 1,000. Hey, how's that pullback working for you on the Qs? New highs. Right? You're going to keep getting in the way? Good. Let me know how it works out for you. Let me know how many times you're going to short the Qs and lose until you stop. Because I finally have to say I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I've capped my loss at 20 million. I'm done. And when the market sells, oh man, Kenny was just talking about the market never going down. The Qs are down 4 points today. Really? And then what are they going to do on Wednesday? They'll be up 12. And then they'll be 700 by Friday. And that $4 pullback that you think was something special tomorrow will be new generational lows. Give me a fucking break. We're about to double from here, friends. Double. Dow, 80 grand. Qs, at least 1,000. Don't get in the way. Don't get in the way. And if I'm right, well, then again, I know I'm right. When I'm right, we were cashing out of this right around. And again, if we do break out and we start going through that 150 area, when we get to the 180, don't ever sell this. Think of it as your new QQQ trade. This thing gets over 150, you're going 180, 250 easy. So what you're going to do is on April 20th, 2028, at 1:43 p.m., the Qs will be hitting over 1,040. Rambus should be around 1,000 at that point. I'll give you permission to cash out that day, and then we party in Vegas again. By the way, speaking of Vegas, it's gonna be a hoot nanny. It's gonna be a VWAP recital. Was that the word for it? Revival. I'm coming. I'm gonna be doing like a sermon in Vegas. It's gonna be a great. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a real good time. So if you'd like to learn a bit more about VWAP and this trade that never fails, I'll be doing a couple of hour-long symposiums in Vegas at the end of February. But before that, on November 22nd, the weekend before option expiration, Thanksgiving, on November 22nd, Saturday, right? 27th is Thanksgiving. The 22nd at 12 p.m., I'll be broadcasting an emergency get to know VWAP session. And it'll be the greatest thing you ever witnessed in your life because I'm going to highlight the last 1,045 trades in a row that have worked over the last 4 years. And I'm going to drill it into your head. And you're going to finally realize, hey, maybe this is the only thing I should be doing. Yes, it's the only thing you should be doing. So I'm glad the V wave's working out, and I hope Rambus works out and the Qs never go down. But man, oh man, we're on a streak that's unprecedented with this one trade. And if you don't know it, you should get to know it. So November 22nd, is it a paid class? It is definitely a paid class. But if you're already a member of my website, we're letting you in for free. If you haven't joined yet, what are you waiting for? Because if you were with us on Friday, you not just paid for your year, you paid for your friend's year, your parents' year, your your unborn children's year, and you got enough money now to play with forever. That's how huge Friday was. And we're gonna do it again. There's gonna be other Fridays that might be even better. I don't know if we're gonna find 5 20 baggers in one day, but they come just little 50-cent moves on $2 stocks, being in the right place at the right time. Anybody have any questions before I go bang my head against the wall, cry myself to sleep, or ever shorting the queue? Because if you think I'm exaggerating the number, no, no. I sat and did some math over the last week. I went back 15, 20 years. It's staggering how stupid I am. It really is. And it's truly an addiction. It truly is. Because think about it. I've hit once. Hit once. Really. I don't care. Yeah, Wednesday was exciting. Yeah, we had 20 contracts, made about $3,500 on it. Okay. Already gave that money back. I've hit QQQ once. And yeah, it was fucking glorious, man. Close to $1 million. And since then, I've given back all back 20 times. And it's basically ruined my career. Trying to be the guy that is on the right side of the market all the time. You don't got to be. You got to just trade these setups. Keep doing what you got to do. Make as much money as you humanly possibly can every day. And don't short the queues. I'm living proof it don't work. Anybody have any questions? Questions, concerns, death threats, algo? Oh, I haven't mentioned. We're going to start beta testing the coin soon. So my reputation for making people money is impeccable. I've made people not just money, I've made people wealthy and rich. Rich and wealthy is two separate things. Wealthy is generational. I've changed people's lives. So when I bring a cryptocurrency coin out, right, I better have this. I got my reputation all rolled up into this thing, and if it doesn't fly, I will leave the country, never to return. What movie? Gold had a nice run. I don't care about gold. Ask me about silver. Buy it. Don't buy AGQs or the SLVs. Buy bullion. Yeah, I did get some new silver coins, as a matter of fact. These just in. You put Spartacus on a silver coin, I'm in. Spartacus. You can't really see it, but he's jumping over a crowd of people, stabbing and throwing swords and all kinds of awesomeness. With a whole bunch of swords on the back. I buy at least 10 coins a week. Sometimes I go a little bit crazy. What else did I buy recently? I did buy something else. What was it? Oh, I got myself a little bear, a little statue, a silver poured warrior guy. I'll get it. Should be coming next week. But those are rip off. You're paying for the artistry. You just say you shorted the cues. So you guys got the Rambus plan? If Rambus Faux Show bros tomorrow, you best be in. And I hope it does. I mean, I'm torn. If it gaps and goes, that's okay. I'll have some of it. But I'd rather get a chance to buy it on a dip when it. Yes. What could I do for you? Johnny fall down the well? What's happening? You seem real concerned about something. What's the matter? Billy fall down the well? You need something to eat? You want a treat? Oh, want to go for a walk? Sit. Sit. Look at you paying attention. All right. Apparently, my dog needs something. This has been another glorious day here at the Hit the Bid chat room. Boring as shit, really. Today is a complete and 100% U-turn from what we did on Friday. Friday was an extravaganza of opportunity. Today, swadoosh. But when you have a Friday and a Thursday and a Wednesday, and a Tuesday and a Monday and a 27 years of awesomeness, and you have a day like today when there's not much to do, you know what you're supposed to be doing? Nothing. And that's what we've done. I've done one trade, KDP short. That's it. I came to play. I got what I came for, and I haven't done shit, and I don't plan on doing anything else. KDP. No, sorry. Well, I mean, I bought Rambus, but that doesn't count because that's just a gamble. Speaking of gambling, do you believe I finally gave up on the Jets and they win a game? Do you believe that was the second largest comeback in New York Jets history? I wasn't even watching. Oh man, NQ is crashing. I know Costco sells gold. I thought that might have been jumping the shark, but meanwhile, we kept going and going and going. Yeah, so I mean, seriously, if you're trying to short the cues, right? You're getting like 25-cent pullback on a $600 product here, and that's it. Like, why bother? And again, if you think any of these stories are fake or I'm exaggerating, definitely not exaggerating. Definitely think Rambus is going to 250. Absolutely think the market's about to double in the next 2.5 to 3 years. I have zero doubt, right? But at the same time, it's not like I'm putting my life savings in the QQQ up here or Rambus or any of this stuff. I'm still pretty liquid, waiting for the next wonderful opportunity. Looking forward to the schmooze, see what's going on by Friday. Nickel dime options is where you get rich in this market lately. Ford on a Friday, unbelievable. Opportunities just everywhere. I mean, and you know what? Those rare earths and nuclear stocks, now that they're getting now that they've fallen 50% and now people are starting to not like them, that's when they turn. So I'll be looking for some buys on those tomorrow. But I'll give you the list tonight if you guys are not around. Ready? Oh, I want to pull back too, my friend. I am I don't have the words, again, as a shorter and a bearish kind of guy, I don't have the words to describe like disdain. Like I don't get it. And again, I also have, I don't know if you ever seen the movie There Will Be Blood. You see the movie There Will Be Blood? He's talking to his so-called brother at the time. I've got a competition in me. I don't want other people to succeed. I want to take them and ruin them. I don't want people to succeed. I want my crew to be the only people doing anything right, right? And but to that point, I like shorting because most people losing money at the time, and I have a skill that helps me make money on the downside. But really, most importantly, is that I've worked so long and so hard at what we do here, and I have a skill that a lot of people don't possess. In a raging bull market, it's people like the Invest Diva, which is she's a lovely woman, but her entire strategy that she sells books about and classes is dollar cost average. That's it. That's her premise. Now she's doing 40,000 a year, 40,000 a month doing symposiums and classes, doing 40 grand a month. And that's what she teaches. She calls it triple compound, triple cost averaging, just to make it something different. So she says if you like a stock when it goes down, you don't dollar cost average, you triple cost average. Genius. But right now, she's a genius. I don't like that. I don't like when the simple trades just work because it takes what I do and it minimizes. I mean, and one day the market will be volatile again and my skill will prevail. But right now, you just put your feet up on the desk and watch the market go up every day. Not much skill there. And that's kind of why I don't like bull markets because, that saying about how it makes geniuses out of all of us. Yeah. And I don't like that. Right. You know, in 2028, when 2028, when volatility comes back, I'll still be doing this. Maybe there'll be some more activity on the short side, but, you know, pick my spots from here. Just got to eat the Q short. Don't do it. There'll be KDPs and Intels. And listen, Intel was a great trade, right? Intel was a great trade on Friday. Shorting one of the biggest stocks, the most popular stocks on the planet, shorting that shit as the market was ripping higher. That's being in the right place. I drink your milkshake. You short the market. I'm way over here. Drainage. I drink your milkshake. Best movie. That scene was crazy. And I do have a competition in me. It's unhealthy. It's costing me more money. I'm losing the competition. Like I want to be that person that shorts the market. I'm like, oh, look at me. Yeah, look at me getting my ass kicked. So you got all that down now. You understand where I'm coming from on the Rambus. I have to be part of it. I have to. I have to. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind to be wrong, at least for tomorrow, to buy the dip on the faux show, bro. So you got all those dates. Anybody wants to come to Vegas? Vegas is going to be sick. I got a nice dinner plan for at least 15 of us at the Blue Ribbon Steakhouse at the Cosmo. And then we're doing karaoke. We got a table at the karaoke place. There's a speakeasy behind the barbershop at the Cosmo. If you haven't seen this place, it's awesome. And then I'll be doing two symposiums about VWAP, November 22nd, if you're interested. A little prelude to what I'm going to do in Vegas. Am I in Russia? Soviet Russia. No, but in Soviet Russia, stock trades you. Am I in Russia? No. What do you mean? I could do it in Russian. So again, let me before I leave, let me explain one more time. The market's going to double from here. Don't short it. All right. There you go. Don't need any more words from there. Right. And again, this is one of the more boring days of the year because bull markets are boring, right? But if you're going to trade, keep an eye on some of these weird stocks like NUAI. You want to make some money? You want something to do? Faux show, bro. VWAP break. Faux show, bro. VWAP break. Cash. So there you go. There's some dates for you. November 22nd. You should be part of the room before that. You get the class for free. And yeah, just take it from me, people. If anybody would like to come over, because I'm about to start burning. I'm actually starting a new life, the non-shorting QQQ life. I have to, and I'm gonna start burning. I'm gonna have a little bonfire in my backyard. I'm burning all of my past confirmations. I got crates and crates of this shit. I'm gonna set it all on fire tonight, and I'm gonna be reborn. And the market's probably gonna crash 3 days from now. Just like the Jets, man. I don't know if anybody is on my Twitter feed. I finally officially gave up on the Jets, and they have the best game they've had 12 freaking years. I'm cursed, people. That's my point. All I got to do is make other people money. Because listen, I tell you, I'm about to literally break the F1 or the sell button off my keyboard. And the guy's over there. He's like, "Oh, this must be the top." It's not going to be. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys, and I'll see you guys. All right, bye. We'll be back in a little while. I gotta refresh everything.